How accessible do you think Miss Universe is now? Do you think anyone can become Miss Universe? When you won, you mentioned that in your second attempt for Miss Universe Bahrain, you had reached out to a Q&A personality coach, you had reached out to a passerella trainer, professional pageant makeup artist, stylist. You've said in the past you were fortunate to have a network of loving and supportive people. You've had experience being in front of the camera for Love in Dubai, Emirates Draw, speaking so eloquently there. So you've had that experience, and you've had prior experience at Miss Universe itself in 2022. Are we reaching a stage where this is almost the bare minimum you have to do in order to realistically stand a chance, because it's become so competitive that only if you have access to these resources, that not everyone will have access to coaches, training facilities, access to maybe a good diet or anything else, access to training of sorts. Only then do you realistically stand a chance? Or do you think still anyone can win Miss Universe?
I think anyone can still win Miss Universe. Everything else, I don't want to say is fluff. It's just to also get you in the right mindset. I feel like the more, The more preparation can't hurt anybody. I think it's much like athletes with their sport, right? You cannot practice enough. You cannot keep training enough. It'll only keep doing good things for you. So the more chances you take with every aspect of the competition, the higher your chances are of winning. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's also just luck. Sometimes it's also just destiny. Sometimes maybe the organization's just looking for a wholesome, pretty face that can speak well. Other times they want somebody that, has something this year that they're really fighting for. Or sometimes they want the whole package. Or sometimes even if you don't have the whole package, you carried yourself well enough and put on such a great show, and you were great behind the scenes with people, and people speak highly of your good graces and your humility and your kindness or whatever it may be, that, hey, that made the cut. So again, it's...
With athletes and professional sports, I feel like we've reached a stage where it's becoming tougher for anyone to just reach a professional level, because it's become so scientific. You have to follow a particular diet. You have to have access to specialized training equipment and facilities, access to maybe recovery facilities, because that gives you that extra 10%, which you now need to be able to reach the professional
level. Sure. With athletes, there's no relying on luck at all. Yeah. So that's where pageantry differs a little bit, right? Where it's like, I think even you don't have to have everything that I mentioned. You can have maybe half of that, but you would need still a little bit of training if you especially have no idea what pageantry is or what they're looking for. I just think it would give you a little bit of a gauge. But I know a lot of girls that were with me in the international pageant that maybe trained once, and they just carried themselves with confidence, and they knew what they wanted out of the competition. They knew that, hey, I'm good. I'm happy enough just being able to stand on this stage. That's enough for me. Or some that even maybe trained once and still managed to place. I cannot say who they are, of course, because that's not my place to say. But that's what I'm saying. It's what, 20% destiny, or no, I'm not going to add in numbers. Let's cut that part.
10% luck, 20% skill. No,
something like that.
It's a Fort Minor
something
song.
Percent destiny, something percent luck, and then something percent preparation. But I think preparation is key for anything you want to do in life. I'm not going to sit here and not know what I'm talking about. For example, if you're asking me to give a master class on pageantry, imagine if I had not done any prep, what would I be talking about with you? Absolutely nothing, Shalaj. I would be sipping on this matcha.
Which is good
and
enough.
Just vibing.
You'll be surprised how many people will just watch you sip matcha for 2 hours. It's uplifting to hear this, because in that same documentary they talk about, at least in the Philippines, because it's so competitive, now if you don't have a team behind you, if you don't have access to the resources, you're not going to stand a chance of winning. It's just that cutthroat.
It is a little bit crazy. It is a little bit crazy. But again, that's the Philippines, and it has changed so many lives there, and it is still such a still such a revered industry, and people will naturally support you because Filipinos, right? The three most important thing: boxing, basketball, and beauty pageants. So that's when you see the Filipino spirit really coming through. Sometimes these teams, they don't even take payments. They will just approach the girl who they feel has what it takes, and they will offer whatever they can to help, whether it be helping with styling, with the hair, with the makeup while they're in the country, or helping teach them how to do their own makeup for the international pageant, help them borrow clothes, help them walk better, answer questions better, carry themselves a different way. And it's all just for the love of pageantry. They just love to be able to say that, oh my God, I was a part of her team. I was a part of like her journey and her change, her transformation, if you will. So I think that's great. That's a great thing for Filipinos. I think while there is that dark side that exists everywhere else, and it's just up to you. You have to be very smart as well. You have to be just as street smart with this industry as you would any other industry, and really suss out people who you can trust, can't trust. Don't do things you don't want to do. Stand up for yourself, even if sometimes it feels like you're being judged for using your voice. But remember that it's you in this journey, and that maybe that's just the difference you can add to this platform, is to be truthful, is to be honest, is to stand up where you need to stand up, find loopholes where it needs to, where you can, and support other women in ways that you can and know how. Whether that's in silence, whether that's in private or publicly. It's whatever you're comfortable with at the end of the day.